Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, I'm in a spicy mood today. I just spawned into my new home, my dream home, and I'm actually in shock and awe at how much we can just command our realities when we know how to do it. So this video is going to be a wake-up call for all of you miserable bitches that are living a life that you hate. Why are you torturing yourself? Why are you making it so hard? Well, you're probably making it hard because you don't know that you can have it another way. And I'm going to show you the way, but I want you to just first decide you're going to trust me in this video, okay? Decide to just lean into all this crazy shit I'm about to tell you because it fucking works. Let me give you just a little snippet of what's just transformed in my life. This time last year, November 2023, I was living at home in a small 3-bedroom house with my family in Ireland, in Galway. I was living in the box room of that house. I had a bed, I had a desk, and I was hustling, trying to get my first couple of clients for my online business. I had like 2, and I was, my income was extremely volatile. I didn't know when my next payday was coming from. I was dealing with so much at home. I felt so alone. I was single. I had lost hope in men. I had lost hope in finances. I had lost hope in life. This time last year was one of the darkest periods of my life. I also dealt with a big tragedy in my family life, so that obviously didn't help with my mindset and everything. And I was in a very, very dark place. I woke up and I was crying every single day, crying and crying and crying. But there's something about the human spirit that even in those days, there's like a light that's underneath it that itches and yearns and tells you like this isn't going to be forever and something good has to come after this. Something good, something is going to change. And I had that, and I had spurts of that, and I had moments of that, and I really, really clung onto that. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'd been into, spirituality, manifestation. I had a lot of spiritual experiences myself before this. I was always into self-development, psychology, but this was a time where I really had to lean into that, and I had to remain strong in my belief that things could change. Fast forward 1 year, and now I live in my dream place that I've always wanted to live. I'm working my dream job that I've always wanted to do. I have my dream relationship with my dream partner, and I'm in my dream house. And I just got here yesterday and I just thought, what the fuck? Because I looked at the date and I realized if you had told me this time last year that I'd be here, I'm going to start crying. It's unbelievable. I got here when I moved in and I realized, and I just started sobbing. And my biggest thing that I wanted to say, and that I want to say while I'm in this moment of just sheer awe at how much power we actually have, is we influence everything. We influence what we experience and perceive in reality. And you have so much more power than you think you do. I promise you. And if you're looking at your life right now and you're hating your life and you're hating your results and you're hating everything about yourself and everything around you, I promise you in 6 months, 1 year, you could be living a whole different reality. I promise you, and I know it's true because I've done it. I have jumped timelines. I've shifted realities. But first, the shift had to happen internally. It happens step by step and layer by layer. As you shed each belief that you hold that is limiting you and keeping you trapped in the reality that you're in right now, each time you do that, you transcend into a new version of reality. You're torturing yourself with what you believe. And you're torturing yourself with what you believe because A, you don't know what you believe. It's subconscious. B, you don't know that you can change your beliefs because you're attached to the way that you are thinking about things and feeling about things and believing about things. But let me tell you, Whatever you believe puts you in a cage. So no matter what belief you hold, every single belief imposes a limit on what you can experience. You cannot experience a reality outside of your beliefs. The beliefs are the walls around you, okay? Your experience is here, the walls are here, the walls are what you believe. So if there's infinite possibilities for your experience, you can only experience to the extent that your beliefs will allow. You can never experience outside of that. So if you want to experience something that is outside of what you're experiencing right now, but you don't believe in it, you will never experience it. If you want to experience it, you must first believe it. If you want to perceive it, you must first believe it. But the reason that people cannot get themselves around their own belief system is, like I just said, first of all, you don't know what you actually believe because it's subconscious. Second of all, you are addicted to your beliefs. Your ego is addicted to your beliefs. When I say ego, I don't mean ego in a negative connotation. I mean ego as in just yourself, your human vessel that is experiencing this 3D existence. That's all that ego is. Ego is the one that creates beliefs. If you think about like the universe and source, that doesn't have beliefs, right? But us, through our thinking and our consciousness as human beings on a 3D level, we have beliefs. It is a ego trait to have a belief. And so ego feeds off of and gets attached to whatever beliefs you hold. Even if you have a belief that hurts you, so let's say, for example, you have the belief that you're broke, okay? And obviously it's painful for you to not feel financially secure, and you want to believe instead that you are abundant and financially looked after. But your belief is that money is really hard for you to make, you never have enough money, and you're broke. So when you get through the month and the end of the month and the situation still hasn't changed and you still find it hard to pay your bills, then you're going to obviously be in pain because of that, but you're also going to have the ego level satisfaction of your belief being proven right. So that is what keeps you hooked. That satisfaction. It's like confirmation bias. That's why confirmation bias is such a big thing. That's why it's a rush. The ego has this innate desire to be proven right. You always subconsciously want to be proving your beliefs right. And we can get into the subconscious, but this is how it works. You say something enough times consciously, you buy into it emotionally enough times consciously, it gets into your subconscious, and then your subconscious gets to work making that be true for you. It will use every resource available to ensure that what you just said is true will be true for you in your life and in your reality. So when it gets to the end of the month and your financial situation hasn't changed, you're upset, but you're satisfying your ego by saying, look, my belief was right. Yeah, I was right. And so that's what keeps us hooked, and that's what keeps us stuck. We're addicted to these shit beliefs that don't do anything for us, that make us feel like shit. And we don't realize we're strong enough to overcome that addiction. We're strong enough to overcome that addiction. You just have to fucking try, make an effort. And the reason it's difficult and you have to really try is because your beliefs are probably made up of everything that you've experienced up until this point. So you have allowed your beliefs to be shaped by your environment and your circumstances. That is the incorrect way to create a belief system. If you think of yourself as a vessel, right, or just like a random unit, right, and you get to kind of type in the commands and the program that's running in this unit, and whatever program you type in, that's going to get you a certain series of results and outcomes and experiences, okay? If you put this vessel in a situation of poverty and hardship and negative inputs, and you don't program it, and you allow the environment to program it, it's going to get the outcome that is resonant with the program that the environment just put in it. But if you take the vessel that's in this environment and you say, fuck that, let me put this program in it instead. It's still in that environment, but I'm going to wipe out whatever shit is on it and I'm going to put this program in it instead. It's going to be able to move from that environment into the one that is resonant with the new program. Do you get what I'm saying? You must take conscious control of the program that you have got running in your mind and stop allowing your environment, events, circumstances, people around you to program that for you. That's not why you're here. You are here to create fulfillment for yourself and to take your power back, and you can do it. You have to just fucking detach. You are addicted to all of these things you hate, and that's your problem. You're addicted to everything that's hurting you, and that's your problem. And this doesn't have to be something obvious. We think of addiction like substances and things like that. No, the most painful thing that we're most addicted to is our own beliefs and our own thoughts, our own responses to the stuff around us. That's what keeps us stuck in the experience of these things. If you were to experience your life and just say, fuck it, I'm going to respond differently today. When that annoying coworker pisses me off, when my significant other treats me like shit, I'm not going to go down the same route I normally go down. I'm not going to make it mean the same thing that I normally make it mean. I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to respond differently in my life. And I'm going to believe differently in my life. That's when things shift for you. That's when everything changes for you, because then you are acting as the creator in your life, creating your circumstances rather than you being created by your circumstances. So it seems difficult to do all of this, but it's actually deceptively easy, and that's why it's difficult. We've been programmed to think everything is difficult, so that's another problem. But listen, guys, when I was in my, super broke, super lonely, super sad, super depressed era where everything, I was in my flop era, everything was wrong, and I was at pretty much, you could look at it objectively and say rock bottom. I began to just frolic through life. I would strip it all the way back and say, how can I take my addiction levels to these circumstances, to these emotions that I'm feeling from looking at my circumstances, from these negative emotions, these negative beliefs, these negative thoughts, how can I take those down a few notches? How can I just chill the fuck out? I started blaring happy music every day. I started going for walks every day, listening to the most inspiring music I could think of and just imagining the most amazing summer coming up next year. I would imagine living here, right here where I am right now, and I would feel it, and I would feel the emotions, and I just threw my middle finger up at everything that was shit in my life and everything that was wrong in my life, and I just said, this is all gonna change, so I don't have to worry anymore. And that's how shit fucking changes, guys. That's literally how it changes. You just throw your middle finger up at it and you say, when I decide that I'm going to be happy, when I decide that I'm going to be fulfilled, when I decide that I'm going to be fucking successful, when I decide that I feel it right now, that's when shit changes, and I don't have to keep worrying. I'm going to stop worrying. I'm going to stop stressing. I'm going to stop overthinking. I'm going to stop overanalyzing. That is when things change. When you take your power back from all this negativity and all this stuff going wrong in your life, and you start thinking and believing differently about what's possible for you, even though your circumstances are still fucking shit. You act like they're not, and that's how it changes. And yes, it seems delusional, but this is how it works. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why it works like this. You think, for some reason, that if you fight reality against reality, it's going to change. But reality is a cause and mind is the effect. This, if you look at all the Hermetic principles, if you read any of the spiritual texts in a metaphorical sense, is what you will find out and discover. The Bible was not meant to be read in a literal sense. It was meant to be read as basically an analogy of how human beings and consciousness work, okay? And you essentially, when you create in your mind a very high level of consciousness and a very high frequency that can overcome and override any physical circumstance or situation, so that you can then manipulate what actually happens. And it's not just you who does that. What's happening is when you tap into these higher frequency emotions, these higher energy states, these higher states of consciousness, you're detaching from ego, which is purely 3D and physical, and is going to get you a very limited experience, because ego is a limited entity. And you're tapping into an infinite experience by tapping into higher consciousness energy, because God, source, divine is higher consciousness. So when we tap into a higher state of vibration and a higher state of being, we become detached from all these ego, low vibrational beliefs and thoughts. We rise above them. And then because we are feeling closer to divine, we can trust the divine, we can trust source, and we can align more easily with things that are resonant with that higher vibration. We no longer resonate with lower vibrational experiences that come from lower vibrational beliefs and frequencies. So when you're emitting a low vibrational frequency in your mind through your low vibrational beliefs, you will have low vibrational experiences, or experiences that resonate with that. But when you are vibrating at a higher frequency, even though your situation is shit, the mind creates the reality. The Hermetics say, the universe is mental, the all is mind, okay? And they allude to the fact that the way the universe is created, now we don't know this for certain, so I'm not saying black and white, this is how it is, but this is a lot of how it was explained as best we can understand it as human beings, is the way universe is created is through sort of an infinite all-knowing mind, through the use of mental imaging and pictures, and that's how physical things are created. Just as through man's use of mental imaging and pictures, man's universe is created. It is the same thing, as above, so below. And so you are constantly have a picture in your mind of how shit things are, and you're wondering why your life is still shit, and you're focusing on, this is shit, I need to work harder. This is bad, I need to pay more attention to it. This is terrible, I need to complain about it. This is awful, I need to go, like, this breakup is awful, I need to go look on my ex's Instagram. Are you mad? Are you mad? What is that going to do? What is that going to do? It's going to perpetuate the experience. Of course it is. If you fill your mind with something, it will be perpetuated physically. And so you must switch the channel in your mind to a channel that gets you fucking excited, and to a channel that you want to actually live in. Because when you switch the channel and the program that you're playing in your mind, the experience that you experience in your body also changes. It follows it. So even when the experience still has not changed, you first change the channel in your mind. You skip through life, you play the happy music, you hug the person you hate the most, you detach from everything that's pissing you off and stressing you out, you throw the middle finger up at everything negative, and you decide to have fun in your life, you decide to vibrate higher. When you look at the Bible, sorry, I want to go back to my previous point before I lose it. You can see when you read the verses metaphorically, and when you read the different scriptures outside of the Bible as well, when they refer to heaven throughout the institutionalization of religion is said to be this like afterlife realm that we get to when we die. But if you look at the Bible metaphorically, heaven is a state of consciousness. And once you access the kingdom of heaven in your mind, then everything else will be added onto you. There's also other verses that allude to this state of being, or this frequency of childlike. You want to be in childlike joy, detachment, presence in your life. That's the frequency that you get to. So when you're experiencing all this shit going on in your life, the way you take your power back is by literally just enjoying and hoping for the best, and having wonder, and having hope, and having awe, and having presence for what you've got right now. Gratitude for what you've got right now. Detachment from lack, detachment from shame, detachment from worry. When you stop worrying and you become so just present and joyous in the moment, everything else will come rushing to you. Everything will fall into place. And I came up with a little mantra for myself a year ago that was, if I prioritize my peace first, everything else will fall into place. Because I knew this, I was studying this, I felt this eternally. I had tapped into this a little bit before in life. But when things were so bad, I really, really had to remind myself every day, I'm strong enough to overcome this. And when I prioritize my peace first, everything else will fall into place. Because this reminds you that this trick that society tells us, it's a trick, right? To feed into our circumstances, to hyper-focus on the negative, to overanalyze, to be so excessively worried and focused and controlling and reactive. That is a trick that is pressed upon us when we come here. And it is the test that we almost overcome in living here and experiencing life. And so to remind yourself to do the thing that feels unnatural, to do the thing that feels like it's not going to help, which is prioritize my peace. What do you mean? I need to go and work. I need to go and, do this stuff. I need to figure out how I'm going to solve all my problems. No. You find peace first and your problems will automatically be solved. I know it seems impossible. I know it seems like, how can you say that? My life is so upside down. What do you mean? How can I even find peace right now in my life? No. When you prioritize the peace, everything else falls into place. And I just need you to trust that. I just need you to really believe what I'm telling you here today, because I've experienced it firsthand. When it feels the most difficult to prioritize the peace, that is when you will get the most rewards from prioritizing the peace. No matter what is going on in your life, you will figure it out so much faster, so much easier, and in a much more aligned way when you first prioritize your peace and your mental frequency. Every time when I wake up in the morning and I'm stressed, actually pretty much every morning now I just meditate anyway, but especially mornings when I'm extra stressed, I'll spend extra long in meditation. I'll spend extra long breathing. I will spend extra long finding the kingdom in my mind, finding that peace in my mind, finding that detachment from my circumstances so that I can feel the peace within me, because it's in me, it's in you, it's already in there, right? We all have a kernel of it in there. You just have to let go of the external enough to actually feel it. You work extra hard to get there, and then you face the day, and then you face the things that are stressing you out. And lo and behold, half the problems that were in your mind before literally don't exist anymore. You have solutions now where there were problems before. All of a sudden, you've got solutions where there were problems before, purely because you tapped into inner peace and detachment first. Calibrate your inner frequency, your state of being, before you present yourself to the world, and watch how the world shifts and looks at you differently. It is the most insane thing. It's the most counterintuitive thing. When you've got everything to worry about and so much going on, why would I just sit down and relax? I can't relax. That's when you need to relax the most. And I promise you, all of a sudden, you'll have answers where they never ever were before, and things just solve themselves. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's just the way the world is set up. It is the game that we're playing. You've been playing it backwards. So I'm telling you, flip the switch and play it the right way around. Even if you don't believe me, just try it. Just fucking try it. And how you can try it is, I want you to even just go on your notes app. I'm going to make this as user-friendly as possible. Go on your notes app. You can get as granular as possible about this and write down just one area of life that you want to change. Maybe one that doesn't feel like you have a huge amount of resistance to, but where you have a little bit of resistance, okay? So let's say, for example, if you're having difficulties like in your friendships, or you're finding it hard to connect with people, set one small goal right now in your notes and we're not even setting a goal, sorry. I want you to just write down exactly the dream scenario of how you want things to be with friends, with connections in your life. So whatever area you picked, write down exactly dream scenario, how you want to feel. I woke up today and I met up with the most amazing friends and we went here and we did this. Get super detailed, super granular, describe it in detail, feel it, feel it, feel it. Read that every day. When you wake up and before you go to bed. Close your eyes and meditate and clear your fucking mind and tune into the vision of you spending time with these friends, doing things, see what it feels like to be with them every single day. And come back to me in 2 weeks and tell me that you're not living it. Because this is how you get there. And this shit works. It is the fucking laws of the universe, okay? It is literally how it works. If you look at quantum mechanics, guys, if you don't believe me yet, if you look at this on a scientific level, when you look at the double slit experiment, when we observe electrons, they collapse into matter, into particles, okay? It is through our observations, it is through our belief system that matter is formed before us in line with those beliefs. So change what you're focusing on, change what you're thinking in your head and your beliefs, and the matter that is organized before you is going to change. It is literally fucking scientific. It is universal law. But we're so addicted to the negative and to our old beliefs that we just think we can't break around them. You're a fucking powerful being. You're a part of source God energy. You have all the power you need to change everything in your life. You just have to get over this version of reality and buy into the new version and be fucking delusional. Be happy, jump up and down, sing the song, scream that you're rich, talk to strangers, act with love, and tell me your life doesn't change. I think I'm done shouting at you guys. That's all for this video. You have the power to change everything in your fucking life. Stop feeding into everything you don't want and start realizing that you've got it all in here already. All you have to do is tune back into it.